Hey guys, today we're doing something a little bit different from my normal videos. We're currently heading up to Louisville, Kentucky for the Show of Shows. Taking my wife with me. It's been a long time since I've done a vlog style video, so we'll see how this goes. I've also never been to the Show of Shows. Hannah hasn't either, so this is going to be our first time up there. Don't know exactly what to expect, but I know that there's going to be a lot of great stuff. So we'll see what we can find. Hopefully we can come away with some good buys, but we'll just see how it goes.
She has a lot more.
So cool.
Now we know you're not full of shit, he said. It's just like, oh, there's stuff here. It's like on your website.
Not really, just kind of looking around. That's it.
11,000.
No.
She's thinking about it.
Look at all the babies. He's like, I told him that there's a little friend, a veteran friend. So expensive. Alright guys, we're back at home and it's actually been a few weeks now since the Show of Shows. It's taken me way too long to get around to filming this video, but today I'm finally cracking down and getting it done. So the Show of Shows, it definitely met expectations. This place was huge. I got lost a few times. It was very hard to walk through in a way where you were hitting every table. I'm pretty sure I missed probably 30% of the tables that were there. I mean, there was so much to look at that it was almost a little bit overwhelming. I'm sure a lot of you can relate, but for me, the way I shop, say if I'm looking for an M1 helmet, I'll go up to a table, and if I see some helmets there, I'll look at the prices, but I'm always gonna assume that there's a better price out there somewhere. So I'll leave that and walk away just expecting to come back later if I can find a better price somewhere. But then I never end up finding a better price. I forget where the table was. That just kind of happened multiple times. So I really didn't come out of there with as much stuff as I thought I would, which, let's be honest, was probably a good thing for my bank account, but for that collector inside of me, it was a little bit disappointing. However, I did get a few cool things, which I'm going to show you guys here in a little bit. One of the coolest parts about the event was that there was actually a couple of World War II veterans there who my wife and I had the opportunity to sit down and talk to for a minute and get pictures with. When my wife and I were waiting in line to talk to this gentleman right here, it was really funny. Every time somebody would get a picture with him, he would always ask to see the photo, and then he would say, "Oh, that one really turned out really well," or something along those lines. And then sure enough, when we sat down with him and got a picture, he immediately wanted to take the phone and take a look at the picture himself, and then just commented on what a great picture it was. Also, the author of the books, The Rifle, was there. However, he wasn't around when I was there, so I didn't get to meet him. If you haven't gotten a chance to read his books yet, I would highly recommend picking up a copy and checking them out for yourself. Basically, what he's been doing now since 2018 is he's been traveling around and visiting World War II vets and getting their stories and writing a book from all of the stories that he's collected. And every time he visits a World War II vet, he'll have them sign his M1 Garand, which is now absolutely covered in signatures. The rifle was actually there on a table, so that was pretty cool to see in real life. I also got to meet the legend himself, Capt Dale Dye. If you guys don't know who Capt Dale Dye is, he played the role of Colonel Sink in the miniseries Band of Brothers. He played this dude in Saving Private Ryan. But most importantly, he's the reason most of those World War II movies were even able to be made. He trained all of the actors for Band of Brothers on how to act, look, and live just like soldiers did back then.
Everybody's a little apprehensive about meeting Captain Dale Dye. He's basically carved out a franchise niche as military advisor to the movies. He and his company have been involved in pretty much every major war movie that's been made. And there's a lot of stories floating around.
I believe he did the same thing for Saving Private Ryan and several other movies as well. I had no idea that he was going to be there. It was funny. Me and my wife were just standing there looking at the World War II vets sitting at the tables. And Hannah goes, "Is that Dale Dye?" Sure enough, I look up and he's just standing right there shaking people's hands. So of course I had to walk up to him, get a picture with him. And he's actually a really, really nice guy. I was able to ask him some questions and just kind of have a conversation with him. It was really cool. He's a really, really friendly person. But like I said, he's a legend. So it was kind of crazy getting to meet him and talk to him. So that basically wraps up the highlights from the show of shows. I'm sure you guys have been waiting to see what I actually got while I was there. So let's get into it. All right, so here we are at the desk. As you can see, I really did not buy a lot of stuff. To be honest with you, I thought I was going to go in there and spend an absolutely obnoxious amount of money on stuff that I didn't really need that bad. But I'm kind of proud of myself. I only bought 3 things. The first purchase I made was also what I guess now can be kind of an announcement. I bought an original World War I Doughboy tunic because I am going to be starting a World War I impression. To be completely honest with you, I really don't know anything about World War I uniforms. Hold on, I'm getting a sneeze. Don't you hate that? When you're about to sneeze and it just disappears. Anyway, I really don't know much at all about World War I uniforms and equipment, but I'm going to learn, and over the next year or two, I'm going to be collecting the rest of the uniform and the gear. The guy was selling this for $110, which was honestly a pretty good price on its own. But the guy selling these was really kind, and he actually came down to $90. So I was able to walk away with this for $90. Great deal, as far as I know. It's in really good condition, not really any moth holes at all, which I'd be surprised if there was a single moth hole in this because it absolutely reeks of mothballs. And cool thing is, it actually fits me perfectly. I'm gonna try it on. Check it out, guys. I'm telling you, when I tried this on and realized how perfectly it fit, I just couldn't pass it up. When I was a kid, one of the first books I ever read was the book that Sergeant Alvin C. York wrote. And of course, my favorite movie was Gary Cooper's Sergeant York. So what I'm kind of hoping to do is kind of recreate Sergeant York's uniform and loadout. Honestly, just kind of for the fun of it, and I just think it would be super stinking cool. I don't know why this is still on here, but I don't really want to take it off. Anyway, so be expecting a World War I impression coming here in the next year or so. All right, the second purchase I made was this original World War II USGI sleeping bag. I've been needing one of these for years now, but I've never been able to find one for a good price or in good condition. Okay, I'm gonna just take this off. This is stupid. But I was able to walk away with this one for just $20, which was an absolute steal. And it has this waterproof cover that goes on the outside of the sleeping bag, which is super, super cool. Now, if I remember correctly, it's dated June something of 1943. So the tag on the case says it was made June 13th, 1944. So this sleeping bag was made just a few days after the D-Day invasion took place. And it was made at the Philadelphia Quartermaster Depot. Let me look and see if there's a tag on the sleeping bag itself, because I'm curious to know if it's a little bit older or younger, or if it was actually made at the same time as its cover. Let's see. I'm not finding a tag yet. It might be down here at the bottom. Nope, not there. I might just be blind, but I'm getting this thing all tangled up, just trying to find the tag. Oh, I found it. It was right there the whole time. All right, let's see. This was also made in Philadelphia at the Quartermaster Depot. Oh, okay, so this was actually made the same month, but a few days after the cover was made. This was made June 22nd, 1944. So just a couple days after its cover was made. It probably was issued with this exact cover because they came from the same place, manufactured within a week of each other's. So it's probably been a set ever since they were made, which is super cool. This is really cool. This tag right here kind of gives instructions to the soldier about how to use his sleeping bag and keep it dry and stuff. It says, this sleeping bag alone has the warmth of 2 blankets and of even more when you add the water repellent case. Keep the bag dry. When damp, it is cold. Sleep with your nose and mouth in the opening. If you breathe into the bag, moisture collects, air and dry it whenever possible. To increase warmth, pad the ground underneath you with a pad, insulating sleeping bag, packboard, clothes, fur boughs, etc. And then it tells you how to zip it up and close it and everything. Anyway, really, really cool. Got this for $20. Could not have asked for a better price. And I'm going to be taking this thing with me to any event that requires me to be camping out. Since I'm kind of on the taller side, I was afraid that I wouldn't fit in here all the way, and I was afraid that my head would be sticking out the top, but it actually covers all of me. Let me demonstrate. Pretty cool, huh? We're excited to use this thing for camping out at reenactments. It'll be especially nice for D-Day, Ohio, because where we camp up above the lake, it can get really cold with all that wind blowing in from Lake Erie, so that'll be very nice to have. Now, the third and final thing that I purchased was actually an impulse buy. As I was walking out the door, I just had a sudden urge to buy something else. I just felt like I needed to walk out of there with more than 2 things. So I saw this Jeep cap sitting there on the table, and the dude wanted $10 for it, so I handed him a $10 bill and walked out the door. I didn't realize that it was way too big. So I'm probably going to be selling this one. So that does it for my Show of Shows 2025 haul. Next year, I definitely plan on walking out of there with a lot more than this, but we'll see. I want to quickly thank my YouTube channel members for their monthly support of this channel. If you guys want access to exclusive content for this channel and have your names pop up in videos like these guys just did, then click on the link in the description and become a member today. With the reenacting season coming up, I'm going to be posting a lot of behind the scenes photos and videos of me preparing for events and stuff. If you want to, feel free to check it out and become a member. Guys, thank you so much for watching. I'll see you all in the next one.